the old elephant in the room. Adam Silver doesn't want it. The rest of the owners would be furious. The rest of the teams don't like it. It's not good for the NBA. But with 4 years left on his deal, 4 years left, Kevin Durant wants out. And there's really one team that can give the Nets virtually everything they want. It's Golden State. 6 finals, 8 years, just won again. They could give you Wiseman, emerging star, young star. They could give you draft picks. They could throw in Andrew Wiggins, maybe a Jordan Poole. It wouldn't gut their team. They'd have Steph and Clay and Draymond and Kuminga and Moses Moody. They'd still have 2 of their good young stars. They'd still have some stars. And there's a lot of different scenarios. Most teams have one way to get KD, and it would hurt. The Warriors have multiple players they could give up. It wouldn't gut their bench. It wouldn't gut their emerging stars. It wouldn't gut their starting lineup. And nobody wants it, except maybe Golden State. So the first KD Warrior experience was new. It's kind of intriguing. It was hard to take your eyes off it. Be honest. You watched it. It was kind of fun. Didn't feel fair, but it was fun. The second experience would not be the same. It's now Kevin Durant acknowledging, I need Golden State. I can't win big without Golden State. I made a big mistake. And we live in a world that's polarizing, and people like to mock and criticize those who make big mistakes. And we know Kevin Durant is sensitive. This wouldn't be new, fresh, and fun. I mean, Steve Kerr and Steph Curry and Draymond wouldn't have to tiptoe around KD to make sure he's happy. Why? We just won without you. We don't need you. You need us. He wouldn't get the coddle treatment. By the way, the fans, are we sure everybody would love Wiggins, Wiseman, Jordan Poole gone? The media in the Bay Area wouldn't be as awestruck. They'd be more cynical this time. They'd be harder on Kevin Durant. Dude, you bailed on us. You know the first 20 questions. Looks like you need us more than we need you. He would bristle. He'd get prickly. Why? Because that's what KD is. The first Golden State experience, the Warriors didn't have 3 emerging young 19, 20, 20-year-olds emerging stars. They didn't have a Kuminga, a Wiseman, a Moses Moody. The fans in the Bay Area can't wait to watch. They didn't have a Jordan Poole, who, if he's not included in the trade, is another emerging star, a drafted and developed star who, when Clay or Steph is off the court, he can give you 20 points. He needs shots. And what about Andrew Wiggins? It feels like not the core 3, it feels like the core 4. Everybody loves Wiggins. He's their most athletic wing defender right now. What if he's not part of the deal? What does his role look like? Klay Thompson took a step back the first time to give KD shots. Are we sure Klay wants to give KD more shots a second time as he's off major injuries? He's trying to redefine his career? The media would be more cynical. The fans wouldn't be as awestruck. It would not feel the same. Conor McGregor and Mayweather, the first fight, it was not only interesting and intriguing, it was a great fight. I took my wife to it. I'm sitting there thinking, this is a great night of fighting. The second time, there's discussions they'd fight again. Feels a little desperate, a bit of a money grab. This would feel desperate by KD. I can't win without you. He would not be as coddled by the coach, by the media, by the fans. They could push back, and they would be right. They don't need him. It's interesting. It is the elephant in the room, though. Golden State has the most pieces. They have draft picks, emerging stars, veteran players, and an owner willing to spend whatever it takes. Phoenix doesn't have that kind of owner. Most owners do not want to pay the luxury tax. Golden State's the only team, doesn't matter. They are the team that can do it. And they'd be virtually unbeatable, especially if somehow they could retain Wiggins with KD, Steph, and Clay, and Dre. Forget it. Lights out. Back-to-back titles. But it wouldn't be like the first go-around. On and off-again relationships, turbulence is just a perceived slight or argument away. All right, so this feels like a real thing. Trades usually feel like a real thing when both people get what they want, even if what both teams get is different. Shams Charania, very good reporter for The Athletic, says the Knicks and Donovan Mitchell are talking. So let's talk about that for a second. Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks. They just acquired Jalen Brunson. That would give the Knicks 2 small, ball-centric guards who don't play defense. It doesn't make any basketball sense, but it'd be a great headline. I know New Yorkers are saying, Colin, come on, man, he's from New York. Westbrook's from L.A. He's never been worse. That doesn't matter. Nobody cares where you're from. It would feel like the Carmelo Anthony deal a little bit. You'd have to gut a little bit of the roster and a little bit of the house to bring in the chandelier, right? You'd have to get rid of some of your draft picks. You'd have to get rid of maybe an R.J. Barrett. But it would make you more relevant. And Utah is trying to stockpile picks. So both teams would get something. And right now, New York is mostly second tier in New York. The Mets are fascinating. The Yankees are great. Brooklyn's always in the headline. The Jets, regardless of what last year looked like, there's a lot of optimism around the Jets. The Knicks, not that interesting. They want to dominate the back page, and it's a great basketball city. And this is the reality of big markets in sports. If you look at most of the really well-run teams, many of them are not big market teams. But in New York, in Chicago, in Los Angeles, slow rebuilds, hard to buy in. LA's got 2 NBA teams, 2 baseball teams, 2 NFL teams. I got options. I got a beach. You notice where some of the big rebuilds are happening? Utah, San Antonio, Oklahoma City. Memphis was on one pre-Ja Morant. You can do that in those cities. People have fewer options. But this is a business. And sometimes in these big cities, you get lost fast. The baseball teams in New York are humming. You may have the best American League team and the best National League team. The Nets are always in the headline. There's a real possibility they won't be able to move Kyrie or KD, so they're coming back with Simmons. That's going to be fascinating. Could be a mess, but it'll be interesting. And I actually think the Jets will be fun to watch this year. So, and also think about this. The Knicks are getting lost among other big cities in the East. The Celtics are good. The Sixers are good. Knicks, the Nets are talented. The Knicks, none of the above. So they've got 11 first-round picks from 2023 to 2029. Donovan Mitchell, Knicks. Utah's in a rebuild. Knicks are trying to be relevant. It kind of feels like it would work. Chris Broussard talked about it yesterday.
They could offer R.J. Barrett. They've got 11 first-round picks over the next 7 years. Other teams have better players to offer. And so that's what you have to weigh. But he's not Donovan Mitchell. The thinking is maybe he could get to that point or close. Donovan's from the New York area, upstate New York and Westchester. He would embrace the Garden. The Knicks should go all in, Colin, on trying to get this done.
I don't think it makes a ton of basketball sense to have Donovan and Jalen Brunson, both undersized, neither much defensively. $55 million combined salary, eats up most of that. But again, those 11 draft picks, this is New York City. You got options. You can do this in OKC. You can do this in Salt Lake City. I don't think you can continue to sell the future when you're charging $300 for a decent seat in a recession as the market tumbles, inflation, uncertainty, chaos. Hey, can you pay $300 a seat? Nobody cares about draft picks. They would care about Donovan Mitchell. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.